Hey everyone, how's it going? I think you can go with me for a ride home. So, I've been thinking, I had some comment a week or so ago. Guy was saying, how stupid it is of me to share my knowledge. And he was saying how he only shares his knowledge with his friends over in Oz, so I'm assuming he's Australian. And I don't know, I've been thinking about that comment. And you know what? I've always had in my head that I learn something new every day. And if I didn't learn something new, I wasn't paying attention. Think about it. You learn something new every day. I learn from anybody and everybody. I have had plenty of up-and-comers that came to me. I had apprentices, newbies, the whole 9 yards. Older people that have never been into business, just random people here and there. And I've learned something. And I've learned something not only about cars, but other things in general. I've learned stuff from people that I couldn't stand. I'll never forget this one guy that I worked with. I got along with him because I worked with him. I could not stand the guy. And he showed me the trick of welding the broken bolt to get it out instead of trying to drill it out. And I remember being just like, really? That actually worked? Damn it. Like, I hate this guy. Now I hate him even more. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just, I find that a terrible attitude to have. Like, why wouldn't you want to teach somebody? Why wouldn't you want to share what knowledge you have? It makes no sense to me. A world without teachers is nothing. I mean, you need teachers to teach people. I needed teachers. That guy needed teachers. That's what I don't know. I got blown away by that comment. And it just kind of stuck with me. It's been a couple of weeks, probably 2 weeks now. But just, I don't know. Just, I found it incredibly strange that somebody would even have a comment like that. Like, why would you share your knowledge? What kind of a fool would do that? Or whatever the heck he said was just kind of like, I don't know. Anyway, so I was thinking of some other things, some other stories. And when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, young adult, my buddy Ed and I, he's my best friend. He still is my best friend. When we were of driving age, we would buy what we lovingly referred to as winter beaters. And it was some clopped out piece of junk that we would drive in the winter, and we wouldn't care if we smashed into something, stuff like that. I mean, we were careful. We wouldn't purposely hit other cars or get into accidents or something like that. But, if we were horsing around in the snow and we hit something, so be it. We didn't care. And I remember I had a 73 Dodge Coronet 4-door 318. He had a 67 Chrysler 300 4-door, and it was a stripper. It was weird. It had no options on it except power steering. And that car ripped because it had a 440 in it. And that car ripped. Anyway, it was beat up. We would go down the road and we would get into demolition derbies with each other on the road, like actually, side by side, and then, smash into each other while we were going. And a lot of times we would do that, like we'd be pulling up to a traffic light and smash into each other with people next to us, like, what in the heck is going on? And it was a lot of fun. I mean, we never did it to the point of like, trying to hurt each other or making it so where we hit each other and it was going to like really cause some damage. Although one time I caught his C-pillar when I was backing up, and it caught, and it did quite a bit of damage to his car. But we did that for a couple of years. We got winter beaters. It was a lot of fun. I'll never forget, I had a Dodge Omni. And this one road that we would take, it was called Buckout Road. And you can actually go and look that up. It was known for being a haunted road. I know it sounds weird, but it was a haunted road, and there was, like, they say albinos living on the road, and it was really creepy and stuff like that. And it was a strange place to be. There used to be what everybody referred to as the cave. and people would hang out in the cave, and it was like basically it was like an old root cellar is what it was, in the woods. And a lot of the teenagers and stuff would go there and drink and whatnot. Anyway, right about near the cave was the road, was Buckout Road, where it actually went up and dropped. And if you hit that thing at any kind of speed, you got airborne. One night, Ed and I were cruising around doing whatever, and I happened to see a friend of mine. I don't recall who it was now, but he had a 73 Olds Delta 88 four-door. And I saw him, and it was at night, so I started following him, like close. And I'm sure he, I know now, but he was like, who the heck is this? So, of course, after a while, he's trying to elude me, trying to get away. And he has no idea who I am. And, of course, a 73 Olds Delta 88 four-door trying to stay away from a Dodge Omni, which can actually handle somewhat. He didn't do very good. So he managed to turn it around, and he started chasing me. And I remember, you know what? I'm going to go on Buckout, because there's no way he's going to keep up with me on Buckout, because Buckout was a twisty, turny road with these humps in it, and there's one in particular, like I said, where you could get airborne. And I remember I was flying down that road, and I hit that one portion. And when Ed and I hit it, I remember it was like Dukes of Hazzard. We hit that thing, and it was just like, and all of a sudden I felt the car tipping forward. And when it hit the ground, I could feel like the car slide a bit on the nose, and all of a sudden slammed down in the back, and then the front end slammed back down. And when it was front end slammed back down for the second time, all of a sudden the oil light came on. And I was like, oh no. It slammed down so hard the second time that it caved in the oil pan and broke the pickup off. The oil pickup was actually an aluminum piece. There was a Volkswagen 1.7 in that car. So of course I immediately had to pull over when I saw the oil light come on, so I knew there was some damage that happened. So the guy who was chasing after us, he comes up, and then he realized who we were. And he's like, man, he goes, I had no idea it was you. And he goes, you scared me at first. And then he goes, I figured then I got the drop on you, and I was going to figure out who you were. He goes, I didn't realize it was you. Anyway, so he actually had a chain or a rope or something, so he towed us home, because Buckout wasn't too far from where I lived. We got it home. The very next day, Ed had actually driven down to the parts store, not the parts store, there was a junkyard near us in town, and he went down there and found 1.7 and was able to get the oil pickup off of it. So he got the oil pan in the pickup, and I swapped it in to mine, and we were back on the road. But we had one other time I'll tell you about. He had a Dodge Omni that he picked up from somebody in town, and for some reason Dodge Omnis, they used a Volkswagen 1.7, and then they used a Peugeot motor for a short period of time. I don't recall what size it was, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, something like that. So his had the Peugeot motor in it for some unfortunate reason. He picked up another Dodge Omni that was wrecked, but it had a good engine and transmission in it, and it was a stick shift. So we converted that one, because the Peugeot motored one was actually in really nice shape. So we converted that one to the 2.2. We took everything from the one car and put it in that car, so he was driving it. He wound up getting hit in the right rear. And that thing has basically like a solid axle on the rear, almost like a trailer would have. And it bent the right side. So the car would track sideways going down the road. So we were going down the road, and the Kensico Dam in Valhalla, New York, if you were coming off of Route 22, the exit that would bring you down to the Taconic State Parkway, or no, Bronx River Parkway, I'm sorry, the exit that would take you down to that all of a sudden dropped off, and we used to get airborne off of that all the time. Just a quick woo. But so we're flying down in this Omni, and like I said, we're tracking sideways, and I don't know how fast he was going, 80, 85. We hit this thing, and as soon as the car got airborne, all of a sudden we both kind of had that, oh, what's going to happen when we hit the ground? Because the rear end is tracking sideways. when we hit the ground, that car went like this, and I tell you what, he controlled it. Ed is an amazing driver. He really is good. He actually road races and stuff like that. He's got an awesome Dodge Neon that he road races with. But yeah, I thought that was kind of fun. Yeah, so I figured I'd share that with you. Knowledge is key. Knowledge will get you everywhere. And that's pretty much why I share these videos. You know, I like for you guys to see what I go through on a daily basis. Hopefully you guys can pick up pointers and tips. You know, I had to go through many years of, you know, trial and error, and, you know, learning from the older guys and when I first started out, and then, you know, like I said, learning from the up and comers and new kids that came in, and, you know, learn from everybody. So just remember that if you didn't learn something new today, you were not paying attention. All right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching.